Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dhanavad Pranam.
Hare. So we can start?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Hare. हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय, श्री गोपाल की जय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपदा मह्यं ददाति सपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापद्कमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सगना ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च। नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांता स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पासातदेशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यश्च च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरतसे नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधु जगतपते गोप्स गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमस्ते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी शिराधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये नीलाचल निवासाय नित्याय परमात्मने बलभद्र सुभद्राभ्याम जगन्नाथाय च नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Seems today less devotees are there, huh? Looks like Thursday is better, yaar. we are supposed to start from which
4.4, Prabhu. Prabhuji.
4.4.
okay. Hare Hare. So after Arjuna hears how Krishna says that I gave this particular knowledge to sun god Vivaswan, so Arjuna gets it out and then he starts asking a question. What Arjuna is asking before speaking only? Santosh Prabhu?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. The question is related to last class rules. Can I ask now, Prabhu?
Okay. Okay.
Sorry to interrupt you, Prabhu. And Prabhu has spoken to Krishna says, and it was given to the supreme science was given to sun god Vivaswan, and eventually it was broken. We know the reason how it got broken, Prabhu. Like
It generally what happens is as that time passes by, anyway things become little diluted. That is the nature of the material world.
even Prabhupada have said the Krishna conscious movement will be there for 10,000 years. Why not eternally, Prabhu? Like how are we? In the future, it maybe deviate or how? Prabhu? I'm just asking that.
We don't know, but what is predicted is after that Kali would become very, very strong. But exactly what would happen, Prabhupada has not predicted. At least I didn't find anywhere. But the main thing is it got diluted because with that passage of time, anyway things become a little diluted. Like if you speak something to someone and he passes on to other person passes to other person, and then third person and the fourth person, then generally things do become diluted. So usually when we hear from more and more acharyas, things become more and more clear. But somehow it got diluted. That detail is not given here, but it did get diluted. Okay. Main thing is whenever it gets diluted, Krishna takes care in the sampradaya that he reveals the thing. So that is a central theme. Because there was a deviation, Krishna took the guarantee, and that's why he is again re-establishing this Rajarsi Parampara. So that is the focus. Okay. Arjuna vacha bhavato janma param janma vivasvatah katham etad vijaniyam tam ado proktavaniti. Please read the translation.
Arjuna said, the sun god Vivaswan is senior by birth to you. How am I to understand that in the beginning you instructed this science to him? Hare Krishna.
So there is a way of asking question. So Arjuna didn't say, oh Krishna, what nonsense you are speaking, we are born at the same time. Even Bhima and Yudhishthira are superior to you. So he didn't speak in a challenging spirit. He spoke in a submissive inquiry. This is called a submissive inquiry. How am I to understand that you spoke this knowledge to sun god Vivaswan? So it is not that you are speaking false, but I am not able to conceive it. So please explain it. So that's called a submissive inquiry. Submissive inquiry means basically I don't understand and I want to understand, rather than saying you don't understand. Makes the difference? So challenging inquiry means where the person says you don't understand, but here Arjuna is saying I don't understand, so please let me understand. So this is an ideal example of a submissive inquiry. The submissive inquiry, the type of inquiry a disciple should do from spiritual master. Now Krishna starts answering that. Sri Bhagavan Vacha Bahuni me vatititani janmanani tavarjuna charjuna tani aham veda sarvani natam veta parantapa. Please read the translation.
The personality of Godhead said, many births both you and I have passed. I can remember all of them, but you cannot, O subduer of enemy. Hare Krishna.
So Lord is basically referring to different avatars. So Krishna expands in form of many avatars And whenever Krishna comes, along with him, his associates also come. So that's why Krishna is saying, Bahuni me vatitani. I have taken so many births. And when I have taken birth, you were also there. So when I give knowledge, you were also there at that time. So Prabhupada quote this, Advaitam Chittavanadam Ananta Rupam, Adam Purana Purusam Navayavanam cha. So Ananta Rupam. So Krishna has unlimited incarnations. Example is given of that of a current of water. Like current of water continuously goes on. Similarly, incarnations also keep on coming. Every yuga after yuga, they keep on coming. So lot of incarnations are there. So many incarnations are there that they are said to be avatarahi asankhya. Asankhya means you can't count. They are not countable. So like we can't count the waves in the river. Similarly, we can't count the number of avatars also. So lot of avatars come. So Lord said that when I come in those avatars, you come as my companion. But I remember them. Why I remember them? Because I'm omniscient. I don't forget. But because I cover your knowledge by Yogamaya potency, just to fulfill my pastimes, so then what happens is you forget it. So that is the difference between a living entity and the Supreme Lord. Supreme Lord's intelligence is never ever covered. Whereas when it comes to living entities, his knowledge is either covered by Mahamaya in a conditioned state, or even liberated devotees, their intelligence is covered by Yogamaya. So that's why in any condition, living entity can never become God. It is not possible. So Prabhupada would often speak, God is God, dog is dog. Not that just by meditation somebody becomes God. That is not possible. So that's why then Krishna says, so my dear Parantapa, in this life you are thinking you are Parantapa, means you are a Kshatriya. Which Parantapa means Parantapayate, one who inflicts pain on others. So that is the work of a Kshatriya. So now you are thinking you are a Kshatriya, but you are my eternal associate. You are not an ordinary person. Okay, Sarojini Kalni Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Now you are saying that Supreme Lord intelligence is never covered, and devotees who are his associates are covered by Yogamaya. But when the pastimes are happened, we saw that the explanation was given that because of Yogamaya, Krishna, when he was a very little boy, he acts as a child, and it is covered by Yogamaya. So that's what we have heard.
So, but if you remember, I told the example of a blind man and a child who's playing by keeping the cloth around his eye. I spoke in one of the classes. Somebody remembers the example? A difference between a prince and a prisoner. I didn't speak here. I thought I spoke here. No. Just a minute, a lot of sound is coming. I'll tell them to stop working. So then I'll come. Wait a minute.
ये आवाज का आवाज नहीं रखा अभी जो आवाज कर रहा है ये ठीक है अभी जो वैसे गया था वो आवाज में कुछ डिस्टर्ब होता नहीं हाँ उसमें ठीक है अभी इसमें खटखट होगा तो पक्का खटखट आवाज ये मात क्या छोड़ दो वो हल्का कम करना चाहिए
हरी हरी bigger sound will also be there, certainly it is avoidable. So, yeah. So examples, coming to examples. So there are two examples. I don't know whether if I speak, maybe you can remember whether I spoke here. One example was the difference between a blind man and a small child who's playing hide and seek. So blind man, he doesn't enjoy not seeing. A small child enjoys not seeing because he's playing hide and seek. So the first difference. Second difference is a small child, whenever he wants, he can just remove the cloth and he can. But a blind man, he can never see whenever he wants. So there's the exact difference of Yogamaya and Krishna and Mahamaya and all of us. So as far as Krishna is concerned, any time Krishna can just remove the covering of Yogamaya and he can remember that he is Supreme Lord. So you find in the case of Brahma Woman Leela, Brahmaji, as soon as he stole the cows, Krishna could remember. Even Balram also, Balram, he was taken by Pralambasur and Pralambasur was taking him deep in the forest. So Balram at a point of time became very worried. He said, my dear Krishna, they are taking me away from you. Krishna said, Balram, did you forget that you are the Supreme Lord? Then Balram said, oh, I am a Supreme Lord. Immediately he assumed the weight of a whole mountain and Pralambasur had to come in his own form. And that is how Pralambasur was killed. So that is how Lord is not bound. First thing is, he covers himself with Yogamaya for his enjoyment. Second thing is that he can remove the covering of Yogamaya whenever he wants. Second example is given of a difference between a prisoner and a prince. Prince is bound by flower garlands. Sometimes they bind themselves by flower garlands. You must have seen. Especially in the olden movies, they would show. Prince means a flower garland and is smelling like this and moving around, enjoying. So prince may be bound by flower garland and a prisoner may be bound by iron chains. But there's a difference. Same difference. Somebody can tell two differences.
Prisoner cannot go outside. Even princess, if she wants to go, they will be completely surrounded by them, or they will put a restriction. You should not go outside the palace. So both of them are, I mean, kind of present. Prabhu.
Prince can remove the flower garland by his own wish. He can easily remove whenever he wants it. Whereas a prisoner, he is bound by the chain, so he doesn't. He's not allowed, and not allowed in the sense he will not be able to remove his chain by himself.
Yeah, so there's first difference. What is second difference? Similar.
Prince enjoys when he was bound by the flower garlands, whereas prisoner is not enjoying when he is bound by the chain.
So these are two different, same differences are there. So prisoner doesn't enjoy, oh, very nice, no, I have so many arrangements around me. No, prince enjoys. And prince, whenever he wants, he can remove the flower garland and throw them away. Prisoner cannot do that. So similarly, Lord, although he is covered by Yogamaya, but he can remove the covering of Yogamaya whenever he wants. And he covers himself by Yogamaya just for enjoyment, for no other purpose. So in this way, Lord is not bound, we are bound. Okay, so the difference between being bound. And so good question. Now we'll go to next verse. So in this way, Lord doesn't forget, living entity forgets. And why living entity forgets, especially in the conditioned state? That reason is given in text number 6. Ajo api sannavayatma bhutanam iswaropi san prakritim swam adhishtaya sambhavami atma maya. Please read the translation.
Although I am unborn and my transcendental body never deteriorates, and although I am the Lord of all living entities, I still appear in every millennium in my original transcendental form. Hare Krishna.
So Lord says the difference. What is the difference? Ajo api sanna avyatma. I am not born the way living entities are born. So Lord doesn't have a material body, living entities have a material body. So we change the identities, we change the bodies. Lords, all the bodies of the Lord are eternal in nature. So there's a big difference between both of them. For example, now we have certain identity. In previous life, we had a particular identity. Maybe one of you were king of some big kingdom in the past life. But you don't remember it now. Now you may be fighting for 2 BHK, 3 BHK or a bungalow in Bangalore. But you don't remember that you might be having palaces in the past life. So this is a big difference. We have forgotten. But as far as Lord is concerned, his body is not material. He doesn't occupy a body. There's no difference between soul and body of Krishna. There's no difference between in and out of Krishna. So that's why Krishna never forgets, living entity forgets. So Krishna says, Aju api sanna. So Krishna says, I am unborn. Arjuna says, what is so great about it? Even Jiva is unborn. Krishna says, no, but there is a difference. What is the difference? Avya Atma. Avya Atma means my body is indestructible, it is not spent. See, Vay, those who understand Hindi, they understand the word Vay. Vay means spending. Vay means spending. So it is basically a Sanskrit word. So Vaya means spending, Avya means not spending. So we spend bodies in this life. We spent our childhood body, we got a youth body. We have a youth body now. When we spend our youth body, we will get an old body. And when even old body is spent, we have to occupy other body. We can write poems about our childhood. So there are a lot of songs about childhood. I don't know whether it is there in Telugu. But in Hindi, there are a lot of songs, Lota do Hamare Purane Din, something like that. I've forgotten now. Earlier, I used to hear the songs. So we can write songs about it, but you can't get that body which was there before. Even if you eat a lot of Jhandu ka Kesari Jeevan, you can't get your youth body again if you have become old. So the body is spent, we don't get it again. So this is called Vaya, spent. But Krishna's body is Avya. Avya means it is not spent, it is eternal. When Krishna is just appearing, he's appeared in house of Vasudev in this particular universe, then Krishna again appears in some other universe, again as son of Vasudev. Then he appears as son of Vasudev again in some other universe. Then again, Krishna killed Putana here, then he kills Putana in some other universe, then in some other universe, and then in some other universe. So Krishna, as far as his body is concerned, his body is not spent. None of the bodies of Krishna are spent. They just appear and disappear. That is the difference between Yogamaya and Mahamaya. Mahamaya covers the reality and displays the illusion. Yogamaya, it makes pastime of the Lord manifest and then unmanifest it. So very good example. The example is given like that of a rising sun. When sun has risen, we don't say sun is born. We say sun has risen. Similarly, when sun sets, we don't say sun has died. We say sun has set. Similarly, Krishna's pastimes, which appear in one day of Brahma, they keep on changing in different universes. One moment, Krishna chewed his food like this in this universe. Next moment, it will be appearing in next universe. Again, he put his mouth like that. Then in next universe, and then in next universe. So each and every pastime of Krishna is eternal. It is not temporary. So it is like a rising and setting of a sun. Like when, let us say now currently, it is 10:31 here. After 1.5 hours, there will be 10:31 in Middle East. After 5.5 hours, it will be at some other place. Greenwich time. Another some more time it will be there in America. So same time keeps on traveling because sun keeps on changing the phase. Similarly, Krishna keeps on doing his different past in different places. Krishna's things are not destroyed; they are eternal. There's a difference between Krishna's body and our body. So Krishna's each and every body, 1 hour, 1 year, 1 hour body is eternal. 1 day body is eternal. 1 year body is eternal. 1 year, 1 minute body is also eternal. All bodies of Krishna are eternal. Our bodies are not eternal, they are temporary. Does that clarify? So that's the meaning of Avyatma. Okay, Sarojini Mataji has a question. So it's a very important concept.
See, when we say that Krishna's body is eternal, and the pastimes are continuously flowing, as you said, like 10:31, 10:32, every moment this is happening. It is only the particular the avatars that is mentioned in Bhagavatam, or it is when we say unlimited avatars are there. So is it mentioned only in the avatars mentioned in Bhagavatam, or it may be some other also that we may not be knowing in this?
No. They are unlimited avatars. Avatara hi asankhya. At the same time, not everyone is avatar. See, many times what happens is many people, so-called imposters, they say that we are God and it is not mentioned in the scriptures. But main thing is, at least whenever avatars come, certain things are very special. What are they special? Hands and feet, they have different markings. When we put our feet in a hall, people clean it. Why? Because they look dirty. Although
Hare Krishna Prabhu, voice is breaking.
wipe them out. What is breaking? Air breathing for everyone?
Yes, Prabhu, it is breaking.
Yes,
Prabhu.
Okay. Okay, wait. I think now that should be okay. Signal was a little weak earlier. Is it okay now? Yes, okay. So the point I was speaking is, when we put our feet, our hands and feet marks are not beautiful. That's why they are wiped out. But Krishna's hands and feet, they have different markings. Sanchityate Bhagavatas Charnar Vindam Vajrankus Sadoruhulanchanadhyam Uttunga Rakta Vilasan Naka Chakravala Josna Virahat Mahadrana Mandakaram. So different markings. elephant god. Vajra means thunderbolt of Indra. Saroru, lotus. So these marks are there in the hands and feet of Krishna. So any avatar comes, they have specific markings. They are not like ordinary hands and legs. So they come and perform extraordinary pastimes. So in this way, different details are there. So not everyone is avatar. At the same time, there are many avatars which are not mentioned in the scriptures also. Scriptures are limited, avatars are unlimited. Okay.
So it may be a different kind of avatar in any other universe also, which we might not be knowing it.
Quite possible. But we are even specifically talking about Krishna's pastimes. Krishna's pastimes are eternal. They are not temporary. They are like rising and setting of sun, which keep on traveling different. Okay. Okay. So in this way, Jiva takes this body based on ignorance. Ignorance means one takes birth and starts identifying with what he is not. We are not what we see in mirror every day. We are not what we think ourselves to be. We are not what others think us to be. We are not these bodies. So because of ignorance, we occupy a body. But as far as Krishna's body is concerned, Krishna's body and soul has no difference. So that's the difference between our body and Krishna's body. Krishna's body is own sarupa. Krishna doesn't occupy a body like all of us. And Krishna doesn't occupy a body by karma. Krishna chooses to appear in a particular place and chooses particular parents. He may choose not to be anyone's son also. Although Krishna came as son of Vasudev Devaki or Nanda Yasoda, how did Krishna come as Varahadev? Who is father of Varahadev? Father, mother of Varahadev?
From Brahmadev knows he has.
So Brahmaji suddenly was thinking, how to bring the earth out? And somebody came out from the nose. It was Varahadev. Who was parents of Narsimdev? Who were parents of Narsimdev? Lord has appeared from the pillar. So Lord may choose to have some parents or not choose to have any parents. And Lord may choose to appear just like that. So in this way, Lord is not bound by karma, we are bound by karma. That's why we cannot say, I would have been born in the royal family of Great Britain. Even if you desire, if you don't have karma, you will not get it. Otherwise, now all the people would have been in very royal families only. We don't have to work at all if we are born in a royal family. But then we are bound by karma. So we are controlled. Krishna is controller. So that's why Krishna says, Bhutanam Ishwaropisan. I am controller of all living entities. Lord controls Maya, Maya controls us. Big difference is there. Then Arjuna has a question. Is it that you are not bound due to your subtle body? Like you also appear in different forms, different internal forms are there. Are they not their separate bodies? Because you also come as fish incarnation, boar incarnation, half man, half lion incarnation. Are they not your different bodies? And then Krishna says, no. Prakritim swamadhisthaya. I come by my own form. Swamadhisthaya means we are given a body by this Prakriti. But Krishna comes in his own eternal form. That's called internal Prakriti of the Lord. So that's called Prakritim Swamadhisthaya. So even the forms of the Lord, whatever they may be, they all are eternal forms. They are not like temporary forms. So there's a difference. So then Arjuna has a question. If you have indestructible bodies, why they appear one after another? But there are many people in India, they have a philosophy that different incarnations of the Lord are evolution. They depict the evolution of Darwin's theory. Fish incarnation came, tortoise incarnation came, boar incarnation came. So they say this is evolution given by Darwin. Lord says no. Atma Maya, Sambhavami Atma Maya. Sambhavami Atma Maya. So Lord says no, these forms are covered by Yoga Maya. So they are manifest. When they are covered by Yoga Maya, they are unmanifest. So this is called Prakat and Aprakat Leela. Prakat Leela means manifest pastimes. Aprakat Leela means unmanifest pastimes. Makes difference? So the difference between the Lord and all of us. So when Lord appeared, Krishna appeared in this world, he appeared in the heart of Vasudeva. From the heart of Vasudeva, he entered in the heart of Devaki. From Devaki's heart, he entered in his womb. He didn't come out of the womb, the way children come out of the womb of the mother. From the womb of Devaki, suddenly he appeared in front. So then Acharya say, did he appear through the agency of womb? He says, we can't answer anything. Why we can't answer anything? Well, Lord is everywhere. He can suddenly appear anywhere. So that is how Yoga Maya reveals Lord's form and covers Lord's form. So that is how Atma Maya. So it is not that there was a fish incarnation and he evolved into, then fish incarnation was gone and then that evolved into tortoise incarnation, Kurma Avatar. And then they say the missing link is Narsimhadev, half man, half lion. So it is not like that. It is not about Darwin's theory. All these forms of the Lord are eternal. So Atma Maya. So there is a difference between Supreme Lord and all of us. So by his causeless mercy, by Atma Maya or by Yoga Maya, he reveals himself. Okay. Anupam Mukund Prabhu.
Prabhuji, yes, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, you mentioned Yoga Maya. So generally, who is the Yoga Maya? So there are a lot of confusion. The Radharani, some will tell Radharani, some will tell Subhadra. So, and also, even the question also, now you mentioned that Yoga Maya covers the Lord form and uncovers the Lord form. So maybe this is the reason this, even Mayavadis also, they thought Maya is greater than the Lord. So just like my thought.
Yoga Maya generally, we say Yoga Maya is a different potency and it is depicted Puranmasi in Vrindavan. Puranmasi is there. So Puranmasi is considered the Yoga Maya potency in Vrindavan. Radharani is Ladini Sakti. She is not Yoga Maya. She is the pleasure giving potency of the Lord. Okay. And Subhadra doesn't exist in the Vrindavan. Subhadra exists in Mathura and Dwarka. So in Vrindavan, Yoga Maya comes as Puranmasi. Second question, Mayavadis don't differentiate between Yoga Maya and Mahamaya, and we differentiate between Yoga Maya and Mahamaya. There's a big difference. So Yoga Maya in one sense doesn't cover the Lord when we are talking about Prakat and Aprakat. It covers, Yoga Maya covers our vision of the Lord. Makes sense? Clouds don't cover the sun. Like sun evaporates the water from the ocean. Vapors go out, they form a cloud. And then we say, oh, cloud has covered the sun. No. Cloud has covered our vision to the sun. Not the sun itself. So similarly, Yoga Maya, when it covers the Lord's pastimes, then we call it Aprakat Leela. Makes sense? Krishna may accept sometimes Yoga Maya to forget himself. That is a different thing. But when we say covering of Yoga Maya, that is covering on us, not on the Lord. Makes sense? So Lord is not covered. Second thing is Mayavadis and devotees, they have differences of understanding of Yogamaya and Mahamaya. Mayavadis has say Yogamaya and Mahamaya is same. Our Acharya say yes, they are same, but their functions are different. I won't go deep in detail, it's like a very vast topic, but I'll just give some small glimpse of that. So the example is given of a tree. Everything, all parts of tree come from the root of the tree. In that sense, everything is tree. Twig is a tree, fruit is a tree, leaf is a tree, thorn is a tree. Everything is tree. But when you want to enjoy eating, do you take the thorn, or you take the fruit, or you take the flower, or you take the leaf? Which part do you take? Anupan Mukundru?
Fruit.
So for enjoying, we take fruit, for eating, and for flowers to decorate us or decorate the Lord.
Why don't you take a thorn for eating?
So it will harm us, Prabhu.
So similarly, although Yogamaya and Mahamaya are same potencies, their functionalities are different. Mahamaya covers our vision, covers the reality, and displays the illusion. Displays a world which we are not. So we think we are these bodies. We think this is me, this is mine. In this way, I'll earn the money and sow the fame. And then in this way, I'll become popular. But main thing is, when nobody can see you, how can you become popular? It is such an illusory conception. If nobody can see you, how can you become popular? You can't see yourself, how can you become popular? So we can't see ourselves, nobody can see us, still we think we'll become popular. So this is called illusory world. So that is the function of Mahamaya. Whereas Yogamaya makes the Lord's pastimes appear and disappear to our vision. प्रकट लीला अप्रकट लीला अद्यापि से लीला करे गौर राय कौन कौन भगवान देखी बारे पाए. So Lord Chaitanya, Lord Krishna, they're constantly performing pastimes in Mayapur and Vrindavan. Those who are fortunate can see, not everyone can see. Okay. Okay, fine.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
I think Narasimhan Prabhu's question is answered in the conversation.
Yes, Prabhu. Mahamaya I wanted, but yeah, now you explained, right? So it is clear.
Yeah, so it's same. I'll give you one very good example for understanding that. Like Yogamaya, the Maya which appears the daughter of Yasoda, whom Vasudeva picked up. So Vishwanath Thakur, he gives the explanation. He says, Yasoda has a spiritual body. How can she give rise to a material body? Not possible. So this daughter was not Mahamaya, this daughter was Yogamaya. But when Kansa caught that daughter, Kansa, being a Rakshasa, cannot touch Yogamaya. Yogamaya is spiritual. So same Yogamaya turned into Mahamaya. Functions were different. Yogamaya gave pleasure to Krishna and Yasoda. Mahamaya gave pain and a warning to Kansa. Such a warning that Kamsa couldn't sleep after that. So functions are different, although they are same. Okay. Fine. So then, now Krishna, Arjuna is very clear. Oh my God. My dear Krishna, I understand that your birth is divine. That's why you don't forget it. We change bodies, that's why you forget it. So that's very clear. But when do you come? Can you predict your appearance? So when do Krishna appears? Krishna answers in text number 7. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuthanam adharmasya tadatmanam sajamyaham. Please read the translation.
Whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice, O descendant of Bharata, and a predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I descend myself. Hare Krishna.
So Krishna says, suddenly Krishna is not bound. But Krishna is displaying his mood here very, very clearly. What? Yadadahi dharmasya glani bhavati bharata. So my dear Bharata Shrestha, whenever religious principles are declining, they're declined or neglected. And what happens? Abhyuthanam adharmasya. And adharma becomes very, very increased. It goes beyond tolerance. So then Lord says, I can't tolerate it. The dharma is declining and adharma is increasing so much. So then Lord, what he says? Abhyuthana dharma tadatmanam sajanaham. So tad atmanam, I manifest in my eternal body to reverse the situation. So just to reverse the situation, Lord appears. Establish dharma, destroy adharma. So Lord shows as if his body is created, but it's not created. He appears, he descends. Okay. Yeah. So in this way, Lord comes. And then further he says in text number 8, what does he do after coming? Because Arjuna has a question. So he thinks, okay, fine, Lord, you come to rectify the situation, but even your devotees can rectify the situation. Even your devotees, they can establish dharma, and your Rajarisi devotees, who are saintly kings, they can destroy adharma. So if your devotees can do the work of destroying adharma and establishing dharma, why you have to personally come? So why Lord has to personally come? Lord speaks in text number 8. Paritranaya sadhunam vinasaya cha duskritam dharma sansthapanarthaya sambhavami yoge yoge. Please read translation.
To deliver the pious and annihilate the miscreants, as well as to re-establish the principles of religion, I myself appear millennium after millennium.
Yeah. So Lord says, yes, all these devotees can do, but when I descend, I perform feats which even devotees cannot perform. So what he does? Paritranaya sadhunam. So devotees, sadhu means here means devotees. So devotees who are longing for me, they want to see me. They can't be happy even if I send my devotees. Like when Vrajavasis were longing for Krishna, Krishna sent Uddhava, Krishna later on sent Balram. Vrajavasis were not happy. They wanted to see Krishna face to face. So in this way, when devotees long for Krishna, they want Krishna to appear. Krishna has to appear. No, there can't be any alternative for that. This first one, Paritranaya sadhuna. Then Vinasaya duskritam. Similarly, devotees suffer because of demons, and there are demons whom only Krishna can kill, no one else can kill. Then Krishna appears. So actually, all the demons of Krishna Leela, somehow or the other, they were cursed by, in some way, and they were supposed to be killed by Krishna only. So if you go in Garga Samhita, each demon has a past life. I gave just one example. So we have this Sakatasur. So Sakatasur, in past life, he was son of Hiranyaksha. His name was Utkach. So this Utkach once went to the hermitage of Lomas Rishi. Lomas Rishi was doing tapasya there. And Lomas Rishi thinks that making a house for myself, kutir for myself, is a big waste of time, because human form of life is very, very rare. And how long life he has? In one day of Brahma, his one hair from the body falls down. And as many hairs are there in his body, those many years he is supposed to live. Now you can understand his age. That is Lomas Rishi. Still Lomas Rishi thinks it is a waste of time to build a house. So Lomas Rishi was staying in a garden where a lot of trees were there. So this Utkach came and he started uprooting and destroying the trees there. Lomas Rishi became very angry. He said, "You are making this land absent of trees. May you also lose your body." He cursed him like that. So he got a body of air. So suddenly, after getting a curse, all demons become very humble. So Utkarsh also became very humble. He fell at the feet of Lomas Rishi. And Lomas Rishi said, in Dwapara Yuga, when Krishna comes, Krishna will deliver you. When you get a touch of lotus feet of Krishna, you will be delivered. So in this way, all demons, they were cursed to be delivered by Krishna only. So for such demons, Krishna has to come. And then third thing is dharma sansthapanartaya, establishing the dharma of remembering Krishna's pastimes, serving Krishna, meditating on Krishna, singing about Krishna, hearing about Krishna. Generally, when Vishnu comes or Narayan comes, he establishes a dharma of Varnashram dharma. Apart from his pastimes. But Krishna's sole purpose is to display the pastimes so that devotees can sing about them, hear them, relish them, meditate on them. Sanvanti gayanti ganantya vijiksana smaranti nandanti tavehitam jana taeva pasyanti acharena tavikam bhava pravaho paramam padambujam. Beautiful prayers by Kunti Maharani. So Sanvanti gayanti ganantya vijiksana. So remembering the pastimes of the Lord, singing the pastimes of the Lord, hearing the pastimes of the Lord. Unless until the Lord comes and performs pastimes, how can you sing about them? How can you hear about them? So that's why Lord comes to establish this Vaishnava Dharma of meditating on the Lord, hearing about the Lord, speaking about the Lord. Okay. So for these three purposes, Lord comes. And Prabhupada says that no, Lord comes in different avatars, Purusha avatar, Guna avatar, Leela avatar, Sattvaisa avatar, Manvantara avatar, Yoga avatar. For this purpose only. Okay. So that how Lord appears. Now suddenly Lord has appeared, Lord has established the dharma, destroyed the separation of, or destroyed the fire of separation of the devotees. Lord has done all these things. But then, how is it useful apart from being realizable? So how is it useful apart from being realizable? Like movies are also very realizable. But if you watch, let us say, 1,000 movies, which prize do you get? Oscar award, Grammy award, or some local Telugu award. At least in your office you got some award, or in home you got some award. You got something? You don't get anything.
Yes.
You get, okay. Kalyanpur is getting something, yes?
I said office, Prabhu.
You will get scoldings, bro. You will get scoldings. We watch movies.
Maybe Guinness Award may come, Prabhu. So many movies you have watched.
No. There's no award like that. At least there's no category like that. So, such, you may do all that entertainment, but that's not useful. But Lord's pastimes are not just realizable, they are also useful. So, what is that? It's given in text number 9. Okay, Susuka Arjanpu has a question.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, like we just got to know, like when Lord appears, there's a purpose behind it actually, and also we know that Lord, out of compassion, he comes as a deities, because for our eyes he is not visible, and being compassionate, he comes as a deity form so that we can see the Lord personally. But here, and we know, we just saw just to re-establish dharma or religion. Nowadays we see, yeah, of course, the only 5,000 years we passed. Even we see so many of demonic activities happening now. Now itself we see. And it so happens the demons attitude kind of a people, atheistic kind of a people, they directly go and touches the deity and damages. So yeah, that is something like, directly they touching the Lord itself. So and lot of criticism also comes. So if it is a true, at least the Lord has to protect during the, why can't he protect his own self or something? So what we can understand from that, being a devotees, definitely we understand. So there is a lesson for us to learn something from that. But,
did Ravana captures Mother Sita? Did Ravana capture Mother Sita?
Yeah.
So demons can never capture Krishna. They are no possible. They can break the stone, they can never break a deity. Make sense? So whenever Lord appears for a particular purpose. Lord appears in Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam for reading and enlightening. Lord appears as holy sound vibration for purifying the heart and hearing. That's the way of worshipping that sound vibration. By reading Bhagavad Gita, we worship Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. Similarly, deities come for the sole purpose of accepting service from the devotees.
Okay.
So it's not the it's not the duty of a deity to protect himself, it's the responsibility of a devotee to protect the deity.
Okay.
So that blame cannot be given to deities. That is our responsibility to protect the deities. Well, the purpose is to receive the service. Purpose is not to displace power. When Lord wants to displace power, he comes at time factor. Kalo asmi lokoyam shekrit. Destroy the deity of the Lord in the form of death. Then I'll call you, some demon has done something. Anybody can escape death. We can accept that no, he has destroyed Krishna. Makes sense? So Lord comes for a particular purpose. He doesn't come for the purpose of displaying his strength in form of deities. Okay, Prabhakar.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavad Pranam. Prabhu, my question is, Krishna's name or Krishna's photo or Krishna's deity, everything is Krishna only, right? Then when we touches Krishna's feet outside or any temple or somewhere, then why we are not getting, free from all these things in material world? So like that everything is Krishna only, right? So some of them that touches Krishna's feet and they are getting liberated. Then why we are not getting that much, liberated all those things here, Prabhuji?
It happens gradually.
But for them, when they touches, they got liberated immediately, right? So why don't we get that?
Who got liberated immediately?
Okay.
Pralambasur, Prabhu. Pralambasur. Pralambasur.
Pralambasur, what I told, he has a past life. He had to suffer so much in a demonic body. And all these people, they have a blessings of some previous devotee. That's why they are doing like that.
Prabhu, what about Kubera's sons, Prabhuji? Nalagriva and
Kubera's sons. You tell me whether you want to chant Hare Krishna and Kubera's son. I'll ask you one question. So I'll tell you what happened to Kubera's son. Kubera's son had the consciousness of demigod only. You can't fly in air, they can fly in air also. They can enjoy wherever you want, with whomever they want. In one sense, means a lot of freedom is there. Now they had to live in the body of a tree for millions of years, standing in one place. So do you want to chant Hare Krishna in one life and go back to Godhead, or get the body of a tree for 1 million years? And
one life only, Prabhuji.
You are only telling Kubera sons. So there is no scapegoat. Lot of sadhana is required. Prahlad Maharaj, as long as Hiranyakashipu did tapasya, that much time Prahlad Maharaj hid in the womb of his mother. Then he became a pure devotee. So there's no easy solution to this world. As compared to eternity, the time required for going back to Godhead is very less. But still it happens gradually. Like, fan. Prabhupada gives the example of switching off the fan. When you switch off the fan is supposed to immediately stop. Does it immediately stop?
It will rotate sometime, Prabhuji.
So you will also take some time. I'll also take some time.
Okay, Prabhu. Thanks, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Hare. So now what the effect of not just entertainment that we realize Krishna's pastimes, there's effect of remembering Krishna's pastimes also. Janma karma cha me divyam evam yogeti tattva tyakta deham punarjanma nati mameti swarjuna. Please read the translation.
One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna.
That is the benefit. See, when Krishna is displaying his pastime, we are hearing it, chanting it. It's not just entertaining, it's also enlightening. And it will, what our results will come is given in this particular verse. So we are very fortunate. We are very, very fortunate. So what happens when we know the Lord's pastime in truth? Tattvataha. So one who knows about it, as Krishna described previously, so one who knows that these pastimes, this truth is eternal, it is not temporary. One understands the difference between material and spiritual, how these pastimes are divine, uncommon. For such a person, what happens is, Tyakta deham punarjanma neti. Such a person doesn't get metal body again after leaving this body. He doesn't come to this world again. Where he goes? Mameti. It comes to Krishna. So what happens to such a person? Ramanujacharya says that for such a person, all the sins which are unfavorable to surrender to Krishna are destroyed. That's Ramanujacharya's version on this particular verse. So one who takes shelter of Krishna, by thinking of Krishna, serving Krishna, he ultimately attains Krishna. So anybody who knows ultimately about Krishna, he will not do anything else. He will just surrender to Krishna. Result of knowing Krishna would be person will be devoted to Krishna. More you understand Krishna in truth, more you become devoted to Krishna. So that is the result. And when one is devoted to Krishna, then ultimately one will attain Krishna. Very simple. Those who, to the degree we don't know, to the degree we still have hope in this world. I'll get pleasure from sense gratification. I'll get pleasure from fame. I'll get pleasure from my relatives. So that hope is there when one is in illusion. When one knows Krishna's pastime in truth, he understands the temporary nature of this world. He understands the eternal nature of Krishna's activities. He understands the difference between both of them. And one becomes devoted to Krishna and he attains Krishna. Is that clear? Okay, Kalyanpur. Answered.
Prabhu answered. Your answer.
Yes. So that happens automatically. That is the meaning of understanding Krishna. So that's why Krishna speaks the result also. He speaks the result of knowing about Krishna in truth. In detail, he speaks in the text number 10. Okay, Paramanandpur.
So here Krishna is saying that whoever understand my divine pastimes and births, so he will comes to me. So that means even we can understand at least one pastime of the Lord in truth. So shall we go back to Godhead, Prabhu?
Yes. See, main thing is as soon as you know Lord's pastime in truth, one will be devoted to the Lord. That's the main thing. Immediately one will start serving the Lord. So it's not that, yeah.
But within this lifetime will go, or it may take some time, some more lifetime.
Asito Deval Vyasa Swam Chabri. So suddenly that verse was given about how everybody saying Krishna is the Supreme Lord. But we see so many people have gone back to God. Recently, when even the pandemic happened, you catch any Mayapur devotee and ask about the devotees who have left their bodies. Such Krishna conscious way. Such a Krishna conscious way. No doubt that they have gone back to Godhead. So many devotees have gone back to Godhead. We will also go provided we stick to the process and we are serious. That's when Prabhupada was saying about this person, that person. Actually speaking, nobody got such a concession which we are getting now. You compare with anyone. Or people say, now Krishna had killed the demons. The demons which Krishna has killed, to become demon like them is not easy. Becoming demon is a very hard work. It's not so easy. Getting such an envy in Krishna, actually remembering Krishna and envy is extremely painful. It's more painful than doing sadhana. So that's a harder way than practicing devotion service. So what we are getting is the best result in the easiest way. That's Mahaprabhu's mercy. And we have seen so many devotees in such a way, Krishna, they have left their bodies, so many devotees, that there's no doubt only. One of my brother's friend, so he was quite a young person, just 34, 35 years old. So he left his body during Corona time. But very clearly, he was just chanting, "Oh Krishna," and then "Oh Krishna, oh Murari," and he spoke like that and he left his body. So seemingly, he had two daughters, a young wife, single son of his parents, and he left his body. From an external point of view, it was quite a painful thing for the family. But if you see from a transcendental vision, he left his body while speaking, chanting Krishna's names. So pretty Krishna conscious way. So many devotees are leaving bodies in such a Krishna conscious way. We also have a hope. As many properties have in Mayapur, we ask them, they say we have no doubt. We are going back to Godhead. Like when Pankaj Prabhu left his body, he heard the words of Hariswari Prabhu and Janivas Prabhu. They said, no, after a few years, we are also going to leave. We will join him. Seemingly, Janivas Prabhu was continuously chanting for, I think, 3 days or 4 days next to Pankaj Prabhu. He didn't even drink water. Duty requesting Prabhuji, please go. And so seemingly you may think, oh my God, no, what a affection for the brother. But it was not just on bodily level. He was helping him to remain Krishna conscious. And then when he left, he said, after some time I will also go. Why to be so much worried and why to unnecessarily lament? So very okay.
Actually, see, we understand one or two pastimes in Tattva, and at the time of death, if we won't remember Lord, when we go back to God.
Main thing is, if you have given you 100%, Krishna will give you 100%. You try your best, Krishna will try his best. So that's the main thing. Okay. So you do whatever best is possible for you, Krishna will do whatever is best for you. Santosh Prabhu gave some question in the chat. I think I already have answered. So I'll not answer it. Okay, 10th one. Vitaraga bhaya krodha manmaya mamupasrita bahavo jnana tapasa puta mad bhavamagata. Please read that translation.
Being freed from attachment, fear, and anger, being fully absorbed in me, and taking refuge in me, many persons in the past became purified by knowledge of me, and thus they all attained transcendental love for me.
So I was speaking about the verse, so many people have gone. Krishna is answering Paramanand Prabhu's question here only. That so many people have gone, Puta mad bhavamagata. Many people became purified, they came to me, don't worry Arjuna. It's not that, no, it's very difficult. So he said, not just now, even the previous kalpas when I appeared, people attained me by having knowledge of my birth and activities. And Ramanujacharya, he says that Jnana Tapasa means they became purified by the austerity of realization about nature of my Krishna's birth and activities, as previously stated. So such wise persons who have genuine attachment or affection for Krishna, who have given up all nonsensical ideas, they have no fear of anything, no anger towards anyone. They understand things are happening by my own karma. So by being preoccupied by meditating, thinking here and about Krishna, such devotees, their symptoms are that they tolerate everything because they don't care to unnecessarily waste time for these things. And in this way, they get bhava, mad bhavam agata. They get bhav and prem for Krishna. They come to the stage of bhav and prem. So there's one clue also here. Krishna gives a very important clue here. How does devotee tolerate things? Devotee tolerate things because he's preoccupied by his endeavor to achieve Krishna. So, somebody is student here? Santosh Prabhu is working or is still student?
He's working, Prabhu.
Working. So nobody is student. Anyway, again I'll catch you only. Let us say you have a company interview. And if you crack this company, your salary would be double of your current salary. Quite a lucrative offer. And I think Raswar Krishna Prabhu is in your youth center only. The way he is speaking, I feel you are talking to each other.
Yes, no, he is in here only.
And let us say Raswar Krishna Prabhu is your kitchen in charge. And in that day, there is no salt in any sabji, any dal. And you took a breakfast, you saw there is no salt in any of the items. And you have a company interview. So will you fight with Raswar Krishna Prabhu or not that day? Or will you speak ill about him to some devotee?
If not in the Krishna consciousness, I might have fighted Prabhu. But whatever the teachings which is given by my Shishya,
you forgot the incidents. It is your company interview just after the breakfast.
Fine, Prabhu. No, there's no other teachings that they have given here. You may not fight with them. And even this morning, Krishna Prabhu cooked, and there was not much salt.
Okay. Why will you tolerate?
Because he's a devotee, bro. You should respect the devotee.
I caught the wrong person.
now the important factor is my interview, which I need to crack. So this is not the minor one.
Yeah, Venkat Ratnam Prabhu got that point. Main thing is, I think Santosh Prabhu is too detached. That's why he's not able to understand. So when company interviews, there is such a anxiety. Somebody doesn't put salt, somebody speaks bad words. Your clothes are ironed, not ironed. One doesn't mind them. Similarly, devotees, when they are preoccupied by their endeavor to achieve Krishna, they tolerate everything. They don't worry about it. Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami were busy executing the instruction of Lord Chaitanya. And then Rupa Kaviraj came there. So he says, either do it with me or sign in this letter saying, I have been debated by Rupa Kaviraj. Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami thought, why should I waste time with this debating with this fellow? I have so many things given by Lord Chaitanya. He just signed. Simple. So similarly, this is Chakravarti Padma speaking, the devotees are so preoccupied with endeavor to achieve Krishna, they tolerate all the inconveniences, they tolerate all the miseries of this world because they don't want to move out of their focus. So such devotees, what happens for them is, such devotees, mad bhavam agata. So such people, they come to the level of bhavan prem and then get Krishna. So that's why the main thing is to become very absorbed in one's sadhana also. That is also quite a good absorption in order to get rid of the miseries of the world. So then we have a choice. We can choose to suffer. What? We can either choose to suffer from our untrained mind and senses who cry not to be absorbed in Krishna Katha. Mind may be saying, senses may be saying, please switch off the video so that I can do whatever I want. Senses may be saying, no, we can do some parallel processing also. So many other things to do. So it's an austerity. It's an austerity to hear and chant. Remember Krishna. It's an austerity. So austerity means we take some inconvenience. So either we take this inconvenience. If we don't take this inconvenience, we have to suffer from the inconveniences of Adhyatmic, Adi Bhautik, Adi Devik Klesha. So that's why devotees are intelligent. They choose the austerity of hearing and chanting even if they don't like it. And they're so absorbed in their endeavor that they don't mind any inconvenience. They tolerate it. So such devotees, they get prema. Now you can read the last paragraph of the purport according to Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu.
According to Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the science of devotional service, Ado Sraddha Tata Sadhu Sangha, Tata Bhajana Kriya, Tato Anartha Nivrittisha, Tato Nishta Ruchis Tada, Ata Asaktis Tato Bhava, Tata Prema Bhidan Chati. Sadhakanam Ayam Premna Pradurbhave Bhavet Kramaha. In the beginning, one must have a preliminary desire for self-realization. This will bring one to the stage of trying to associate with persons who are spiritually elevated. In the next stage, one becomes initiated by an elevated spiritual master, and under his instruction, the neophyte devotee begins the process of devotional service. By execution of devotional service, under the guidance of spiritual master, one becomes free from all material attachment, attains steadiness in self-realization, and acquires a taste for hearing about the absolute personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. This taste leads one further forward to attachment for Krishna consciousness, which is matured in bhava, or the preliminary stage of transcendental love of God. Real love for God is called prema, the highest perfectional stage of life. In the prema stage, there is constant engagement in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. So, by the slow process of devotional service, under the guidance of the bona fide spiritual master, one can attain the highest stage, being freed from all material attachment, from the fearfulness of one's individual spiritual personality, and from the frustrations that result in void philosophy. Then one can ultimately attain to the abode of the Supreme Lord.
In this way, these are 9 stages of devotional service we have spoken. So how one progresses in spiritual life? Initially, a person may get what is called Agya Sukriti. What is Agya Sukriti? Agyat Sukriti. Unknowingly getting some devotional credit. Somebody gave you something, you ate it, you liked it, it turned to be prasad. Some unknown person came and asked for a way, where is this particular building? We told him the way. It turned out to be a Bhakti Ruksha program. Unknowingly, we had earned some spiritual credit. So when that particular credit is accumulated, it creates attraction for practice of Krishna consciousness. It goes in a loop like this. When we get it more, next time we get devotees. This time devotees don't come and give us prasad. We go to devotee and ask for prasad. So nice, please give us something. And then when we take prasad second time, more attraction for Krishna consciousness increases. It keeps on increasing and increasing and increasing. And when the attraction becomes so much that we are ready to follow Guru Sadhu Shastra, that stage is called Ado Shraddha. So many devotees will find they have such experiences. Like once in one of the places, devotees would go out for Sankirtan. So when they would go through a particular street, one big black American Gunda used to stay there. So he would catch. So first time he came, he told devotees, if you come from here next time, you will go without your teeth. You don't have to go to any dentist. I'll remove all of them. And there was one small, tiny devotee, with big specs. He took some prasadam and handed over to him. This fellow ate and he said, that's good, but don't come next time. And devotees, next time they again came from the same street. And this time, this Gunda didn't spoke to other people, he spoke directly to this devotee only. I told you not to come here, still you came. This time you give me prasadam, but don't come from next time. Third day, again devotees came. This time he caught this particular devotee having prasadam. And he told, you are not hearing me. This time one is not allowed. You have to give me at least 2 laddus. He took 2 laddus. Next time devotees came. This time he took the whole prasad only. So he told, everything is for me. If you come from next time, I'll eat them also and I'll ask you to cook 1 more packet for me. And then when devotees came like that again, he went along with them for Sankirtan, and now he's a temple president. He's a very big devotee, old devotee. So that is the Agya Sukriti slowly accumulates and it turns into Ado Shraddha. So Ado Shraddha then it leads to Sadhu Sangha. We want to stay with devotees. When you stay with sadhus, what they do? Chant Hare Krishna. Bhajan Kriya. As soon as we start Bhajan Kriya, then lust, envy, pride, greed from the heart is eradicated. Anarth Nivritti. And when they are sufficiently gone, not totally, but sufficiently gone, then one comes to a level of steadiness called Nishta. After that, one gets some taste for chanting and reading. Till then, so much taste is not there, it is a nostalgia. One gets come to the level of Ruchi. One has so much taste that one cannot stop chanting. One doesn't feel like sleeping. Let me chant whole night. Initially, it may not be like that. Initially, people may be sleeping while chanting also. But then, when one comes to the level of Ruchi, one will start chanting while sleeping also. I know some devotees like that, even while sleeping, they keep on chanting. You can't sleep next to them. One devotee always calls me, now, Prabhu, very nice, now you chant very nicely, no, you come and you stay in my room. I told, I'll chant with you, but I'll not stay in your room. Because when I chant with you, I'll chant only in day. But if I stay with you, I have to chant in the night also. I don't have so much taste. Because while sleeping also keeps on chanting, unknowingly. So then that level of Ruchi is there. Then one develops asakti, attachment for Krishna. Such an attachment for the Lord that person's senses disobey him. I say you have taken enough darshan, remove your eyes. Eyes disobey, still they look at Krishna. They take darshan of Krishna. Legs say, nowadays time for going to office. Let us go for office. We tell to the legs. Legs disobey. They take you more closer to the temple. they disobey. Ears say, enough of Krishna Katha. Now you should do some other work also. You have to hear from your wife also. But ears disobey. No, they hear Krishna Katha only. So asakti. And then after some time, further person develops, then he develops bhava. Now he has developed emotions for the Lord. Till then emotions are like, many times they are possession of material emotions only. So but now one develops real emotions for Krishna. The way one is having emotions for one's family members, similarly even one develops emotions for Krishna, bhava. And then one develops love for Krishna. That is the perfection of life, prema. So these are the 9 stages which Prabhupada has summarized in this particular paragraph. So that happens gradually. It doesn't happen immediately. It takes some time. It happens gradually. Okay. So these are the 9 stages. So then Arjuna has a question that, my dear Lord, fine, we understand that your pastimes are eternal. By remembering them in Tattva, one goes back and back to Godhead. But who appreciates them? Only devotees appreciate them. Jnanis don't appreciate them. Karmis don't appreciate them. Other people don't appreciate them. Only devotees appreciate. So what about them when they chant and hear? What about them when they come to the temple and offer something to you? They also seem to be like devotees, but they may not appreciate the way devotees are appreciated. So there is a question to many other people who think that so many other people they are practicing devotional service. What about them? So for them, Krishna answers in text number 11. I'll cover this verse, then you can ask. ये यथा मां प्रपद्यन्ते तां सतैव भजामहं मम वर्तमानुवर्तन्ते मनुष्य पार्थ सर्वशः. Please read the translation.
As all surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects, O son of Pritha.
So what Lord says is, the way they worship me, I also give fruits of their worship accordingly. Those who treat deities as person, Krishna reciprocates as person. Those who treat them like a stone and tries to break them, Lord also breaks like a stone. So simple thing. The way you approach the Lord, Lord also reciprocates accordingly. So devotees think that appearance of Krishna and the activities of Krishna, they are eternal. And they have a desire to participate in the pastimes of the Lord. They want to please the Lord. They want to worship the Lord. So all these things are true with the devotees. And Lord also acts accordingly. Lord makes them his personal associates so that they can do those activities permanently. Like why all the queens of Dwarka, they wanted to marry Krishna? Because if you marry Krishna, no reservations. You can worship Krishna 24 hours. You can serve him 24 hours. So they didn't have a desire for sense gratification, but they had desire to serve. But if you are close to Krishna, you can serve him 24 hours. So to the degree we have an intense desire to be with Krishna, Krishna reciprocates. But gopis of Vrindavan, they want to give pleasure to Krishna beyond even their own conveniences, beyond their being recognized as wives of Krishna also. Krishna gives them a higher pleasure, vipralamba bhava. So that is how Lord reciprocates according to that desire of the devotees. So if devotees have a desire, oh, 24 hours are not enough, I want to chant more. 24 hours are not enough. I have so many services, so many ways I want to please Krishna. 24 hours are not enough. When I feel like hearing Krishna Katha, I feel why only 2 hours of Bhakti Shastri class. There should be 24 hours or 48 hours of Bhakti Shastri class, non-stop. Then Krishna thinks, oh, this material body is limiting him. I'll give him a spiritual body. I'll make him my own associate. Then he will not have any limitation of the body and he can serve me unlimitedly. So, ma ye yatha ma prapadyante. But for Jnanis, who think Lord's births, activities, deities, paraphernalia are all temporary, Lord also gives them temporary body. Lord hands them over to Maya Devi. But those who think that although Lord's name, form, qualities, activities are eternal, deities are eternal, but we want liberation. We don't want Supreme Lord. So what Lord gives them? Lord gives them liberation. So similarly, so the first Jnani which I was speaking was a Mayavadi. Mayavadi who think that name, form, qualities, pastime of the Lord are Maya. Lord gives them, hands them over to Maya Devi. But those were genuine, we can say in one way, Jnanis, they appreciate Lord's name, form, qualities, activities, but they want liberation. Lord gives them liberation. Okay, so ye yatha mam prapadanti. However you approach Krishna, Krishna reciprocates accordingly. Like same Krishna there is Tirupati Balaji also, right? But those who go to Balaji, many times they don't go for liberation, they don't go for having a relationship with the Lord. They go for profit, and Tirupati Balaji also gives profit. But those who worship Tirupati Balaji to have relationship with them, Lord will make his own eternal associates. Okay. Now you can ask questions. Okay, Susuka Arjun and then Narasimha Prabhu.
Oh, like previously we saw the last stage is Bhava and then Prema, no, bro?
Prema, yes.
Yeah, here we saw in the previous verse the purport it is mentioned the last stage of the devotional life is called as Bhava or transcendental love of Godhead. So
this state leads one further towards true attachment of Krishna consciousness, which is matured in Bhava or the preliminary stage. See, it is given preliminary stage, na?
Last to that, Adho Shraddha Tata. So there, according to the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, above that, the last line, the last stage of devotion's life is called Bhava, transcendental love of Godhead.
1 minute. I don't know where you are reading. In my book, something else is given.
The 10th shloka, where we read that according to Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Shraddha.
Okay.
Above that, we have that line too.
Okay. See what Prabhupada written in the last stage of devotional life is called Bhava, transcendental love of Godhead. That is, Prabhupada not discriminate between Bhava and Prem.
Okay.
Why? Because Bhava is like rising of sun. So when the sun has risen, you can say that sun has come. Okay. And some people may differentiate between rising sun and complete manifestation of the sun.
Okay.
So in the previous line, Prabhupada had not differentiated between both of them. And in the next paragraph, Prabhupada differentiated.
Okay.
So Bhava is the preliminary stage. It's like a rising sun.
Okay. Fine.
Narasimha Prabhu.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhu. Prabhu, in the you were explaining like on this means whatever Krishna means, if at all for karmis, whatever they ask they give, and for jnanis. So for people like some believe like they do all these devotional services, they do pujas and all these things, and finally when you ask them, they say yes, the final purpose is to merge into the Lord. So merge with the Lord or merge into the Lord. So is this correct, Prabhu? Is it there, or does God grant that also? Means merging with the Lord? Means
merging with the Lord is liberation, na? Merging with the Lord is called liberation. Merging means basically merging with Brahma Jyoti. When you say the Lord, the conception of Lord is Brahma Jyoti.
Okay.
But those who think that Lord's form and activities are temporary, they don't merge into the Lord. They don't get Brahma Jyoti also. They again get a next body. They are called Mayavadis. Okay.
Okay, so there's nothing like, see, the Brahmajyoti merging into Brahmajyoti. So that is one type of liberation they aspire for. Other than that, directly like means merging with the Lord means there's nothing called as merging with the Lord's body, something like that, Prabhu.
There's nothing like merging with the Lord's body. See, let me ask you. Is your color you or not? I'm not asking from the platform body and soul. Again, on a bodily platform only. On a bodily platform, are you your color or not?
Yes, Prabhu.
On a bodily platform, you are there, na?
Yeah.
Similarly, Krishna means both Krishna and Brahmajyoti. So in many places you will find even Krishna talks about impersonate that they come to me. When Krishna says they come to me means they come to Brahmajyoti. They don't come to Krishna as a person. There's nothing like merging into Krishna's existence as body. It is merging into Brahmajyoti, effulgence of Krishna, which is as good as Krishna. But you can't reciprocate with Krishna in that way. Like child in the mother's womb is with mother. But he can't reciprocate with mother. He can't even seek mother. Make sense?
Yeah.
Similarly, those who merge in Brahmajyoti, they can't see Krishna, they can't reciprocate with Krishna. So child in mother's womb is also child of mother only. But he doesn't have a fortune of looking at mother, recognizing mother, and having relationship with mother. That fortune is obtained only when the child comes out. So similarly, those who merge with Brahmajyoti, they don't have that fortune of reciprocating with Krishna, although they are with Krishna. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Okay, Santosh Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. As per the verse 4.11, Krishna is saying that how much they have surrendered or how much they have understood, according to them, I will reveal myself. So in this case, Prabhuji, whenever, for example, even prasadam, when we are distributed prasadam, outside many of them, they just consider that as just food, not as a transcendental prasadam or something like that. So what will be the benefit for them, bro? Because they're just considering the prasadam as just a food, not as a prasadam. So what benefit they will get, bro?
That's why the benefit which they get is very minimal. That is called agyat sukriti. Agyat means unknowingly. Unknowingly they get some benefit. So that's what I'm saying. To that degree. But when they develop more attraction for Krishna, they will get more benefit from accepting prasadam of Krishna. So they'll get some benefit, minimal. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, Sarojini Kalindi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. When we say this, these are 9 stages of the devotional service. While following only Sataka, say for example, if he is in the Ruchi or steadiness or wherever he is, and they are supposed to leave the body, is it necessary that they have to attain only prema, then they will go back to Godhead?
Main thing is we don't achieve things, we receive things in Krishna consciousness. So if Lord is really very happy with our endeavor, Lord may quickly give those stages even in the last moments. So there are many devotees, many Prabhupada disciples, they very rapidly progressed towards the last days. And generally, till Anarth Nivritti is up the hill. Nishta is on the hill. And then Ruchi onward it is like down the hill. So then it becomes very, very fast. So till Anarth Nivritti it's very painful, it takes more time. Then it becomes very fast. Okay.
And we see many examples of devotees now also, as you said, like during the last minute, devotees all surround them, they play Kirtan, last minute they chant Hare Krishna and they leave. So that might be some examples we can take, like last minute they they remember the Lord and they go back.
Arrangements. You find many Prabhupada disciples, they had to go through pain of cancer. And then suddenly they understood now There's nothing in my control, there's nothing to enjoy in this world. And as soon as one gives up the controllership and enjoying mentality, whole focus goes on devotion service. So the progress becomes very, very fast. So we have numberless examples. Now, I think if you write just summary of each and Prabhupada disciples' life, how he went back to order, you can make a big, thick book. So every now and then we keep on hearing a different devotees. So main thing is seriousness. They did surrender to Krishna very seriously. Lord reciprocated also. Okay, Paramanand Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. As per this verse, as all surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. So devotees also there are like apart from Sahajamukhi, there are Sarishti, Sarupya, Salokya, Samipya. So can you brief out, Prabhu, these four? Because devotees, they want liberation, not like Mayavadis. So why these four types are there?
Four types are there depending on the different level of one's.
Hey, Undra.
Undra. Okay. I'm feeling like I'm giving class to Bangalore devotees now. So it depends on, actually we'll talk more in detail when we go to chapter number 7 to 12. I'll just speak concisely. So depending on the depth and intensity of desire also Lord reciprocates. Salok, Sashi, Samipya, Sarupya Kapi Apota, Diyamanam na Gananti Vinamat Sevanamana. So foremost thing is, devotee don't accept any of these muktis if devotion service is not there. Okay? So we don't want to go to the spiritual world to relax. We want to go to spiritual world because we want to serve Krishna. So that's the first and foremost thing. Now there may be different levels of muktis depending on the intensity of desire. So one can get Sarupa, form like the Lord, Sarishti, opulence like the Lord, and Salokya, one can be in the planet of the Lord. So one can have any of these things if one even practices mixed devotion service. But one can have Samipya with the Lord. Samipya means being very near to the Lord. You can have his form, you can have his opulences, you can stay in his planet. But if you want to be very near to the Lord, one has to practice pure devotion service. Because pure devotion service means I don't want anything except Krishna. I don't want form like you. I don't want your opulence. I don't want to stay even in the spiritual world. I want association and close association with you because I want to serve you 24 hours a day. When that desire is so deep, one gets Samipya, near to the Lord Narayan. And love of Godhead is considered even above Golok Vrindavan, where one can't even think of being separate for Krishna for even a moment. That's extremely deep. So if anybody wants to go to Golok Vrindavan, anybody wants to get Samipya in Vaikuntha, he has to get love of Godhead. So I am speaking concisely. We'll discuss about it in detail when we discuss chapter number 7. Because currently we are dealing with more with Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga and Ashtanga Yoga. Bhakti Yoga will discuss in more detail when we go to chapter number 7. Okay?
Yes, bro. Bro, my bandwidth is pretty low, bro.
Okay, no problem. Fine. So now we'll go to text number 12. Similarly, Lord says in text number 11 that whether it's Karmi, Jnani, Yogi, they all follow my path in the sense that whatever they want to get from me, I give them accordingly. For those who are conditioned souls, for them, they want fulfillment of their desires, Lord fulfill their desire. They want to forget Lord in such a way that they don't even imagine there can be some God also. Lord makes them convinced, I don't exist. They become atheist or they become agnostics. So in this way, Lord reciprocates with everyone, but according to the way they approach the Lord. And Lord is now going to give example for that. So that's in the text number 12. कांचनता कर्मणाम सिद्धिम यजन्ते इह देवता क्षिप्रम हि मानुषे लोके सिद्धिर भवति कर्मजा. Please read the translation.
Men in this world desire success in fruitive activities, and therefore they worship the demigods. Quickly, of course, men get results from fruitive work in this world.
Yeah. So people who are full of desires, these people give up bhakti. So all the bhakti is swarupa of the Lord, it is directly coming from the Lord, it is direct relationship with the Lord, opportunity to directly relate with Lord. Is it there are people who follow karmaja siddhi? They want results of their work and immediately. They can't wait. So then such people, they worship demigods. And what is the result? They get the results very quickly. Because demigods are more like immediate reciprocator. They are like shopkeepers. Approaching Krishna is like approaching a father. Approaching demigods is like approaching a shopkeeper. I don't know whether I gave this example before also. Child has decayed teeth. He goes and gives 100 rupees to the shopkeeper. I want chocolates. Shopkeeper doesn't mind. Immediately he gives chocolates. Same child goes with father, not with 100 rupees note, not 2000 rupees note. Father, give me chocolates. What will father do?
He will take 2000 rupees notes and so he may give 10 rupees to buy chocolates. Or if he is already having a chocolate, so he will take down 2000 notes and he will just give chocolate. Or he may say,
You forgot the precondition. Teeth of the child are decayed.
Okay. No chocolate.
What do you do when Ratnam Pro?
No chocolate.
Huh?
Yeah, no chocolate. No chocolate. So father will say, no, your teeth is already spoiled. If you take more, it will spoil further and it will pain. It will give a lot of pain. Again, we need to visit the doctor. So not to eat.
You will take 2000 rupees and say, this is not for chocolate, this is for Dr. Swiss. And you will take him to a dentist and treat his teeth. Only when his teeth is okay, they become fully all right now, then one will give chocolate. This is exactly how Lord reciprocates. You go with him with a desire, Lord will not just fulfill that desire, he'll also children have become very awakened by the example. They have become fearful. So you unmute. So then what will happen is, so then he will give a chocolate. Lord, so Lord also reciprocates accordingly. What Lord does is, he will fulfill your desire only when you know how to handle that desire. I just give an example. It happened with one of my students whom I was guiding. So he was staying in our youth center, and around I think in the third year he came. He told, Prabhu, Krishna is reciprocating with my desires. I told, very good. He said, no, Prabhu, you don't know the history. Then he told me the history. He told in his first year, and even before his first year, like before becoming a devotee, he wanted to marry a girl. And that is why he came and he prayed to the Lord that, my dear Lord, Gori Dila de Ram, I want that girl. And then what happened is, because we have very strong lectures on detachment in our youth centers, so he forgot everything. He forgot, but Lord didn't forget. In third year, when he was in his college, this girl called him again with a proposal. And now he was like shaken up from the root. He was like, Prabhu, she is calling, what to do, what to do. I tell you, decide what to do. Because after hearing so much, I can't say no. And no, after my past desires, I can't say yes. So yes and no, I'm very confused what to do. And then gradually what happened is, this girl also became a devotee, and then they are about to get married. So this is how Krishna treats. So initially, if this fellow would have married, she was a non-devotee, and he would have immediately, if Krishna would have granted a desire, he would have left Krishna consciousness and had gone to this girl, and both of them would become first-class karmic couples, enjoying sense gratification. But Lord trained him. That girl got trained because he became a devotee, and now they are devotee couples. So the way Lord treats the people, it's pretty different from what other people do, what demigods do. So that's why one should approach Krishna. Not that immediately demigods are offering the results, approaching them. So that is what basically Krishna is referring here. So people of less intelligence, they approach the demigods because demigods give immediate boons, but they don't understand that I have relationship with Krishna. So whatever he will do is not just what I want, he will give me what is best for me. He will give me beyond what I want. Because I may not want right thing for myself. He knows what is good for me. So there's a people of small intelligence, they approach that demigods. So that's why even if somebody has a desire, approach Krishna only. You have seen sometimes, some congregation devotees, they hide and go to demigod temples. Mother will put wheel like that, and they would go seeing nobody devotee seeing me. Quickly go and worship and come back. Certainly, then we don't condemn going to demigod temple. You can go there, but you don't have to exclusively spend so much time in worshipping them. Just go, offer obeisances, ask for pure devotion service, and come back. But if you have material desires, even for material desires, approach at least Krishna. Krishna will do what is best for you. So if you have some material desire also, pray that, my dear Lord, these material desires are there. I don't want them, but they are there. Now you do whatever is best for me. So that's the best way to pray. Even if you have strong material desires, pray that, my dear Lord, what is there, what to do, I may be contaminated son, but it is ultimately I am your son and daughter. So please do whatever is best for me. And Krishna will do whatever is best for you. You don't have to separately go. And depending on different desires, now this was I was talking from a devotee perspective. Let us come to now flow of Bhagavad Gita again. Now for ordinary people who may not be devotees, Lord has done something to fulfill their desires. That Krishna gives in text number 13. Chaturvarnya maya srishtam guna karma vibhagasa tasya kartaram apimam vidya kartaram avyam. Please read the translation.
According to the three modes of material nature and the work associated with them, the four divisions of human society are created by me. And although I am the creator of this system, you should know that I am yet the non-doer, being unchangeable.
So now, because people are in various modes of material nature, and being in contact with various modes of material nature, one develops variety of desires. Mode of ignorance, you desire to eat something abominable or not do anything, remain lazy, sleep for long hours, that desire may be there. When the day would come when I'll sleep for 12 hours a day, I aspire for it. So that's in mode of ignorance. Mode of passion, you want to achieve very big things, enjoy a lot of sense gratification. Mode of goodness, let me take some juices, nice scenery, go to some scenic place, enjoy nice Shastri Sangeet. So depending on different modes, one develops different desires. And that's why according to one's desire, one develops a particular nature, Swabhava. Time agitates three modes of material nature, and Swabhava is the result of contact with particular modes. And that is why one is born in a particular situation. But then being born in a particular situation is not enough. Depending on one's nature, one can do a particular type of work and get trained in that particular type of work. So that's why Lord has made this Varnashram system. Chaturya indicates self-interest. Depending on one's self-interest, so Chatur also means two. It has two meanings. One is four divisions, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. And Chatur also means Chaturya. It comes from the self-interest. Chatur means person who is very cunning, is very self-interested, self-centered. So depending on one's self-interest, Lord has created, Kartaram, the system of Varnashram. So depending on inclination, Lord has divided a society into Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. And when one works according to one's nature, one gets satisfaction of the subtle body. At the same time, one gets elevation also. So I'll explain that how it happens for each of the Varnas. Brahmanas. Brahmanas are generally in mode of goodness. That's prominent. Passion and ignorance may be secondary, but primary quality is goodness. So that's for Brahmanas. So because of goodness, they are very, very satisfied people. You pump them, give them a motivational seminar, work very hard, get a lot of money, get promotions. They say, anyway, world is temporary. Anyway, even if I work very hard, I was eating one plate rice, I will continue to eat one plate rice only. Or I was eating 4 idlis, I continue eating 4 idlis only. So my diet won't increase by earning more. Why should I earn more? Work very hard? That means he's a Brahmana. So he doesn't have much desires. He doesn't have a desire to enjoy this world. He understands things as they are. So such people, what they are told, don't work under anyone, because then you will be forced to do adharma even if you don't want to do adharma. If you are a Brahmana, you work in a company and the company tells you to do something sinful, it will be very painful for you as well as your boss also. So he can remain independent, he doesn't have to work because he is satisfied with little. Whatever donation comes, he will be satisfied with that. That's why very few devotees have a courage, not just I am saying out of obligation or limitation or they can't earn, but many times some devotees willingly, they can just stay in temple even as couples and be satisfied with whatever comes. So then you will find some rare devotees like that. So whatever comes on my own, it is, I'm just happy serving Krishna. So then they're happy with Patan, they can study, they can teach, Yajan, do DT worship, teach DT worship, Dan Parigraha. They can accept charity and whatever is excess, they give in return. Because if they collect more than necessary, they will enjoy a lot of sense objects they will get, and then they may fall prey to sense objects. In this way, they fall down from mode of goodness to mode of passion and ignorance. So they are told before sunset, whatever is in excess, give it away. Don't store. So one can store to some level, but not too much. Brahmana are not supposed to. And then they can just spread wisdom, not just earn wisdom. They can do good to the society, they can do good to themselves. So they are happy. And they are not pained, they are not worried about money because they are happy with whatever comes on its own account. So that's Brahmana. And in this way, he cultivates his devotional service or whatever, Jnana Marga or whatever. And at the same time, he elevates in Krishna consciousness or in his transcendence. He may get Brahman also. Now coming to Kshatriya. Kshatriyas have passion as primary. and goodness as secondary. So primarily, they have a desire to control, desire to enjoy. That is the result of mode of passion. You have a desire to control, you get a kingdom. Or you get at least some small village. At the same time, when you control and you have an opportunity to enjoy also, like Kshatriyas are allowed to have more than one wife. Kshatriyas can collect taxes for their enjoyment. But now, don't exploit people. That's a main thing. Serve people using those resources. So when, especially in the Vedic culture, what would happen is because many people would go in Gurukuls. Practically all the children would go to Gurukuls. So many of the people may like to just continue as brahmachari lifelong. So then girls would become more than boys. Excess of girls, they need protection. Kshatriyas can have more than one wife. They can protect them, not just accept them as wife, but also protect them, give them protection. But at the same time, you have to give them protection and you also have to give the protection to the praja. You can take taxes from them, but for serving them. That's why the word which was used for Kshatriya is menere pitaram praja. They would take care of the citizens the way father takes care of the child. At the same time, he follows the brahmanas, performs yagyas for the welfare of the citizens. He becomes elevated. He is not allowed to exploit. He doesn't become degraded. He is elevated. Vaisyas they have passion as primary, ignorance as secondary. Kshatriya, passion as primary, goodness as secondary. Hare Krishna, you are able to hear me?
Breakage is a cognitive breakage.
Okay. So, I'll just complete with this concept only because at the time is already over. So, Kshatriyas, I told primary is goodness, passion is secondary. For Vaisyas, passion is primary and ignorance is secondary.
We are not able to hear you, Prabhu.
Oh, just a minute. Now you're able to hear me?
Yes, Prabhu.
I think your Lord is indicating that I should stop the class.
Prabhu, we have lost Prabhu.
Prabhu is rejoining, Prabhu.
So just a minute, what I'll do is I'll change another network and I'll just complete this particular episode and then end.
Sure, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. So I think I must be audible now. It's the next network.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. Yeah.
Okay. So now I'll just end with this concept. I was telling about Vaisyas. So Vaisyas, they have a great desire to earn, even earn. But you have to give taxes to the Kshatriyas. So you can exploit the people by creating artificial necessities. At the same time, one supports all the religious principles by giving a particular amount of money as charity. So if you see traditional Vaisyas who are very, very wealthy for generations, they are generally Gujaratis and Marwadis. For generations, they are very, very wealthy. And the reason because they have a culture of donation. So I stay in a town where 90% of the population is grain merchants. And many of them are my relatives only, very wealthy people. But they have fixed, I don't know their percentage, but there's something like 5 to 10% they donate 100% for religious purposes there. So they exactly follow the Manu Samhita. And then when you spend for that, you also participate in the activities. When one participates in the activities, one's consciousness gets elevated. So in this way, they also got elevated. You can earn money because you like, at the same time, become religious, spend for spiritual purposes. And then it comes to the last one is Sudras. They are supposed to serve Brahmana, Kshatriyas and Vaishyas. When you support in some religious functions, once intelligence also gets, or one's consciousness gets elevated. And in this way, they also become elevated and they can also go back to world. Or at least they can get transcendence. So that is slowly through Varnashram system, depending on one's Guna and Karma. I have told about Guna and Karma also. So one should have modes like that. And if one does activities like that, one's subtle body is very satisfied. At the same time, one can become elevated. And in this way, one can be happy in this world, at the same time slowly move towards transcendence. So that is how Lord has made Varnashram system for helping people to achieve the transcendence. But at the same time, Lord says, although I am acting as a Kshatriya, I am not bound. Because my activity are transcendental, they are beyond three modes of material nature. Activities of Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaisya, Sudras are in three modes of material nature. So Lord says, I am the maker of the system, but I am not bound by the system. Like owner of the company is not bound by rules of the company. He doesn't have to put his attendance. So like that. Okay, so we'll end here.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dhanavad Pranam.
Yes,
Vedadari Govinda.
yes, bro.
Prabhu, this is regarding the timings of the Bhakti Shastri course. So going forward, I think we'll have Sunday programs in the center, starting from the 5th of this month.
Okay.
So can we take the opinion of the devotees who are attending the Bhakti Shastri course so that they can choose a particular timing, and also depending on your convenience, you can let us know the timings so that we can arrive at a particular conclusion as to what time we can choose on Sunday or.
On Sunday, I am free at this time only. What happens is second half becomes very busy. I have a lot of programs in second half. So already things are very heavy, but somehow because David was saying, no, we just can't come on Thursday, etc., etc. So then I give this timing. But becomes it's not like possible only second half. That is the problem. It's not possible because already programs are there.
Yeah, Prabhu.